Imagine you're in the middle of a battlefield. Everyone's talking about a man whose bravery and courage are legendary. His very name sends shivers down the spine of his enemies. But he's not just any warrior. He is a man with a rare honor and kindness. Every time he stepped onto the battlefield, he defeated his enemies with unmatched valor. Yet, whenever he captured prisoners, there was no anger or desire for revenge. He treated them as if they were old friends, so warm and kind that even his captives felt safe. Today's story is about a man who fought with pride, who chose peace when he could, and who, in the end, found a place in the hearts of everyone. Let's dive into this story.
Time Warriors!
Our story begins in 1137 AD in a small town called Tikrit, in what is now northern Iraq. A baby named Yusuf was born here, raised in a Kurdish Muslim family. His father, Najmuddin Ayyub, and his uncle Shirkuh were both military commanders. From an early age, Yusuf grew up in an environment of war and politics. He learned to wield a sword, understand battle tactics, and at the same time study the art of diplomacy.
Yusuf, remember, a great man is someone who fights with both his sword and his mind. The world is more than just a battlefield. It needs wisdom and justice too.
Father, does that mean I should learn how to make peace with my enemies too?
Yes, my son. Sometimes peace is the greatest victory.
With these words, Yusuf took to heart the lessons his father and uncle Shirkuh taught him, and even as a child, he dreamed of becoming a great leader. Years passed in Tikrit until one night, because of his father's aid to the ruler's enemy, Yusuf's family came under suspicion. The ruler no longer trusted them, forcing the family to leave Tikrit in the dead of night. After several days of travel, they reached Aleppo, where the powerful ruler Imad ad-Din Zengi welcomed them. Yusuf, now older and sharper, joined Zengi's army, learning warfare and politics daily. He trained alongside his warrior uncle Shirkuh, absorbing new lessons in strategy and diplomacy, with a dream in his heart to one day make a name for himself in this city.
Yusuf, wars aren't just about swords and bows. You must also learn politics and diplomacy.
Uncle, I think we can unite the Muslims. We can become an unmatched force.
That's exactly what Nur ad-Din Zengi wants. With this mindset, you will one day become a great leader, Yusuf.
And so Yusuf gradually matured, and in his youth, he joined his uncle Shirkuh on military campaigns to Egypt. There, amidst internal crises and conflicts, the need for a strong leader became clear. In Egypt, the situation was complex. On one side, the Fatimid caliphs controlled Egypt but were too weak by internal issues to resist the Crusaders. Meanwhile, the Crusaders were eager to seize it. In this situation, Nur ad-Din Zengi sent Yusuf and Shirkuh to save Egypt from the Crusaders.
Yusuf, are you ready? This isn't just any war. It's a battle for fate and land.
Uncle,
we will fight to the last breath. Egypt must be freed.
Yusuf and Shirkuh fought fierce battles against the Crusaders and eventually saved Egypt from their threat. But the story doesn't end here. Years later, after Shiku's death, Yusuf became the commander of all Egyptian forces. Due to his prowess in battle and his kindness and justice in peace, he earned the respect of Muslims who gave him the title of Saladin. With the power he gained, a grand plan formed in his mind to unite Egypt and Syria. Because years before, in 1099, during the First Crusade, the Crusaders had stormed Jerusalem and taken it from the Muslims. At that time, Jerusalem was under Fatimid rule from Egypt, but due to internal issues and a lack of unity, they couldn't put up much resistance. When the Crusaders reached Jerusalem, they committed a merciless massacre. The streets were filled with blood. Thousands of Muslims and Jews were killed, with hardly anyone surviving this atrocity.
Saladin, everyone knows you are a powerful warrior, but uniting all the regions isn't easy. Everyone wants their own power. If we are to fight external enemies, we must first have peace and unity at home. I want all Muslims, whether Shia or Sunni, to fight side by side.
After years of effort, he finally managed to unite Egypt and Syria, and with a strong army and a well-thought-out plan, set out for Jerusalem. This was the moment everyone had been waiting for, the historic Battle of Hattin in 1187. The Crusaders, unaware of Saladin's plans, entered the battlefield unprepared and soon fell into his trap. Trapped in a waterless plain under the scorching sun, the Crusaders were surrounded by Saladin's forces, who blocked their access to water. With no means of escape, the Crusaders suffered a defeat, and many of their main commanders were captured. This victory paved Saladin's way to Jerusalem and boosted his army's morale. Upon reaching Jerusalem, the Crusaders, who had taken the city by massacre, were certain the Muslims had come for revenge and were filled with fear. But here, Saladin made an unexpected offer. He told the Crusaders that if they surrounded the city peacefully, they would be allowed to leave without harm. This offer demonstrated Saladin's humane spirit and chivalry. With no other option, the Crusaders accepted the offer. Jerusalem was thus taken by the Muslims without major bloodshed, and Saladin achieved his great goal. After Saladin's conquest of Jerusalem, the Crusaders launched the Third Crusade under the command of three of Europe's most powerful kings: Richard the Lionheart of England, Philip II of France, and Frederick Barbarossa of Germany. In the next video, we will cover this battle and the role of these kings, but for now, know that this war ended with a historic agreement between Saladin and Richard the Lionheart. According to this agreement, Jerusalem remained under Muslim control, but Christians were allowed to freely visit this holy city. After this agreement, Saladin returned to Damascus and never sought war again. He spent much of his wealth on well-being of his people. When he fell ill and died in Damascus in 1193, he left very little for his family. This shows that Saladin was a just and caring leader, someone whose sole purpose was to serve the people who lived proudly under his banner and fought alongside him on the battlefield. The story of Saladin's life has come to an end. The video you watched is the result of countless hours of effort by our 6-member team. Please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments. Until the next video, goodbye.